Hi, I'm Art Napolitano, and today I'm here with Heather Nianouris. She's from Ohio. She's actually up visiting me at my lake property in New Hampshire, and I asked her to sit down so we could talk a little bit about her journey in network marketing and Zinzino. Now, Heather's background, first of all, you should know she's a mom. She's also comes from a teaching background, and she's somebody that got into network marketing and was with a company. She became one of the top leaders, actually earned several $1 million, documented, and the company actually changed direction. And that left her and her good friend and partner, Jamie Walker, looking at all the options in direct selling as it to continue. And I had found myself in the similar situation a year before. So through a mutual friend, I was introduced to Jamie. I had a chance to meet Heather. So I'm so happy you're here. But the first question I want to ask you is, you go from mom to teacher to network marketing. What attracted you to network marketing?
It was accidental. I never planned on doing it. I had never sold a thing in my life, like other than Girl Scout cookies, perhaps. But I was watching a friend years ago and she was having success with it and she was enjoying it. And I thought, well, what if I could earn some daycare money? And that was all that I hoped to do. And then very quickly realized that I could get paid for how much effort I put into something, which is different than teaching. You work hours and hours and hours and you have that set pay rate that doesn't go up. And so I just fell in love with the concept of working for myself, but also getting to use my teaching background to teach other people how to do this who have never sold anything like me. And so I was hooked very, very early on the profession in general. And just it grew from there.
Well, I have noticed that the tools you create, um, the training you give, it comes from a different place than most people that I work with. And in fact, myself and some of our top leaders have all commented how much we've learned from what you provide. And I think that really comes from your teaching background.
I think, yeah, it definitely helps in this industry. And really, when you look at all of the people that we get to work with, everyone has their gift and their talent and their thing that they get to bring to the community and to the team. And we all share all of those gifts and talents. For me, with teaching, I know how to design, whether it's a presentation or a training, a lesson in a way that connects with people's brains, because that's what I did for the first half of my career.
Well, you certainly connected with my brain and many of our partners' brains, and I've admired the work you've done. And I respect and am humbled that you joined us with Zinzino. Now, you had many options. I know you were in the skincare business. You had a large group, mostly women
Yeah.
and mostly soccer mom type people.
Yeah.
And to go from skincare to a health and wellness company that has a little bit of skincare now with our collagen product in our serum, but basically our big story is test-based nutrition.
Mhm.
Why did you choose Enzino?
Well, a lot of reasons. Like you said, I was fortunate to be approached by a lot of different companies, and I couldn't find one that really connected with me. There were some where I loved the products, but had zero faith that it was going to be around in 5 to 10 years, or I didn't feel that it was really in a stable position. There were some that I loved the people, but the product was just kind of ho hum. And I knew that if I was going to do this again, I wanted to find something that was actually different than what was out there and also had the staying power to be around not only 5 years, 10 years, but 20, 30, 40 years down the line so that anybody that I brought into this and walked alongside could rest assured that this was going to last. And that's very rare, as you know. And then we started connecting and talking and having some conversations. And I had never met somebody who had been doing network marketing as a career as long as you had. Because in my former company, like you said, it was mainly soccer moms, and that was their first shot at doing anything like this. So you just shared so many valuable insights, not only about Zinzino, but about the company. And you had a video that broke down how to really look for the next opportunity, which if you haven't watched that video, you need to watch that video. It's amazing. And I learned so much from that. And before I knew it, I felt like I found my home with Zinzino. Plus I had a cupboard of pills and vitamins and potions. And I had no idea what they did. I bought them because somebody on Instagram told me to buy them. The idea that I could actually test and make sure that it was working, like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, the video you're referring
Yeah.
to is Why Zinzino, which I made to help educate my brethren in the network marketing industry because so many times they go with the trend. Oh, a new
Mhm.
company, that must be the one. Or someone offered me a deal, that's got to be the place to go. And these companies seem to go up and down, especially in nutrition,
Mhm.
and probably skincare too. There's always a new company. There's always a Me Too product. I did not want to be in the pill and potion
Mhm.
business. Now, the biggest segment of sales and all direct selling, as the video talked about, or I talked about in the video, was the idea that wellness is the biggest percentage of a $176 billion market, and skincare is not far behind.
Right.
But together, Zinzino's in both arenas, of course, nutrition first. And I was getting into this from services. So it was a completely different thing. A lot of the people that were with me for 25 years, where I was the top global money earner, did not follow me here because it was not what they were thinking was the right thing. But I feel long term that this is the company they should have been with. And I believe we'll prove it over time.
Yeah.
And so you took the test,
Mhm.
and I saw you started posting about your scores. How did you do with the test?
Not well.
You didn't?
No, no, I was like 35 to 1. So very, very out of balance. And I actually made a commitment that for the first 120 days, because I wanted to prove to myself and to anybody I'm going to talk to about it that this worked. So I did not change my diet. I did not change anything else. I just took the balance oil to see how I could score. And I tested every 30 days. So I went from 35 to 1 to 14 to 1 down to 5 to 1, and then by the 120-day mark, I was like 2.7 to 1. So seeing that
Wow.
green and knowing I was in balance, it felt so good. But it wasn't just a number on my phone screen, right? It was a number combined with the fact that I was feeling better than I had in years. So it wasn't just in my head. I actually had the proof to kind of correlate those two things. And when you can show somebody that what you're giving them actually is making a difference, you've got a customer for life.
Well, you have many partners in your team that have actually gone past the 100 customer mark,
Mhm.
qualified for that $11,500 bonus for just getting 100 products sold in a month. And you've been posting about that. Yet we, I'm sure, can share frustration sometimes because I just had a big family gathering. I looked around and I said to Stacy, boy, so many of our family, I just wish they would hear me out and take this test and really just understand the importance of this omega-3. And sometimes they just feel, oh, you're selling something, so they
Mhm.
pull back. I get, do you ever feel that way? Like, what can you do? Because this is so important for people's health. Don't even listen to me. Google omega-6 to omega-3, and, oh, I just wanna get through to them.
Yeah, I just say to people, I'm like, "Look, you should be taking omega-3. The one that I have to offer is the best one on the market. It's the only one with clinical proof showing that it's going to get you back in balance in 120 days. So you can take mine, or if you like taking something that's not as good, you can take another one too. But it I don't understand sometimes why people are so stubborn, why they're married to their generic, big box store omega-3 that I can show you 100 scores of people that have come in our team that were taking another omega-3 and they weren't anywhere close to balance. So why not take something that works? But, you're never going to convince everybody, and so my mission is just to talk to as many people as I can.
I adopted a similar attitude.
Mhm.
If I stop trying to sell and I focus on education,
Yeah.
then I think that's the key. Just, we say Zinzino, inspire change in life. You can't force someone to change. They have to make the decision that health's important. And I try to just say, look, independently, Google, like Stephen Chiniski and Dr. Natalie told me from day
Right.
one,
Right.
said, if you're looking at Zinzino out, it's real science, but do your own homework.
Yeah.
And
With anything you buy.
okay, that's
Yeah,
true,
with
right?
anything. It's you said inspire change in life, and what I found is, like you said, you can't make somebody change, but those conversations do live in the back of their head, and that reel you post or that little one-on-one you have when you run into somebody at the grocery store, you never know what's gonna happen in their life 1 month, 2 months, 6 months down the road, a couple years. that will bring that conversation back up. So it will eventually inspire, I believe, just not always at the right time.
Well, you are one of the best presenters,
Thank you. I mean,
trainers.
you're pretty darn good
Well,
yourself, so.
a lot of years, I guess, but I love hearing you talk and I love hearing you train. And you host a lot of Zoom meetings, and a lot of our team members from different organizations love to get on your basically your fast start getting started program, because what's different from what I've seen too is that you dig a little bit deeper to make people understand, here's some of the roadblocks and here's how you understand them and overcome them. Because like any new business or any new thing you do in life, the first day at a new job is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So there is a learning curve, and you're so good at helping people get over that. Can you tell us a little bit about what goes on that training and why somebody might get value to jump on your training?
Yeah, every Monday night we come together as it's open to anybody in our larger team. So we'll have people from truly all over the world that hop on, and we just kind of dig into what you have to do in your first week, your first 6 months, whatever it might be that day that we're talking about. And then we have a time at the end where we do Q&A. And throw me something that you're going through right now that might be hard. Where do you need help with on the website? What can I do to help you do better and hit your goals? But that's the attitude of everybody on your team, Artie. I mean, you've developed this culture where it is truly um, people linking arms and coming together to use, like I said, their gifts and talents to help other people. And I tell anybody, listen, if you are even considering this a little bit, attend a presentation. Somebody will give you a link to one of the presentations that you and Larry and do every week, and then show up. And remember, we are going to teach you everything you need to know and equip you with all the tools to be as successful as you want to be. And you've never seen a team like this. I've never seen a team like this. The caliber of human beings and brains, it's second to none.
It really is. It's a combination of proven people in the direct selling space that have earned a lot of money like ourselves, but there's also these scientific minds
Yeah.
and these brilliant people that chose to be in Zinzino, which is a network marketing company. You have a doctor in your team
Hmm.
in from Texas, I believe. Is
Yeah.
that her?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Hmm.
And she's one of those, I think she's the leading customer getter in the entire group of my global network.
Yeah.
And she's like at the 200 plus mark.
She
So,
is.
Dr. Shauna, right?
Yeah, yeah. She is a reproductive endocrinologist, and she's been giving her patients omega-3s for years because they help with so many issues with fertility. But she said that when she saw us start talking about the balance test and the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, she's like, I was mad. She said, I'm a researcher. I am constantly have my nose in peer-reviewed studies, and I hadn't heard about this. And she said, but all I had to do was go on PubMed and realize, oh my gosh, like you said, this has been out for years. I just didn't know about it. And so now she's giving her patients, the option, if they want, to take the balance test and the balance oil. And it just gives those patients one more level of um, of ownership over a journey that is really difficult. And fertility is tough. And anything that they can do to really help get them into that place where they feel like they're going to be more successful is a gift. So she loves it.
Well, on the business side,
Hmm.
after both going through something that was very difficult,
Hmm.
you build up a large income, a large team, the rug's pulled out, not there's bad people involved, but decisions have to be made in business. I was very sensitive to choosing my last run in network marketing, and after 35 years. And looking at this publicly traded company, digging into the financials, knowing that the owners are so committed to the vision out to 2050,
Right.
talking about 100 million customers, and talking about putting all the infrastructure in place and the signs in place to be able to provide the products to
Right.
the number of customers they see in the future, and then offering us a chance to own a piece of the company. Now, you can be an investor today, but you did a great slide on the growth of the company.
Mhm.
Do you remember some
Oh,
of
yeah.
those numbers and could talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, like I said, when we were looking at my husband and I looking at Zinzino as well as other options, we kind of dug into those financials, and there were some things that blew me away. Um, the the fact that they had 41 million, I believe it was, in cash reserves, that tells you that they have room to innovate, right? They have that cushion there. Um, the operating profit and the gross profit both going up 60% over the last year. The- to see a company with those numbers, especially one that's still in expansion mode, that it doesn't happen. But for me, it was the stock, and I could kick myself. I could kick myself, Artie Napolitano. You said a year ago, probably this week, you really need to buy some stock if that you're into that sort of thing. And I thought, yeah. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Do you know how much money I would have made if I would have bought the Zinzino stock last year when the price was what it was? It has grown. Um, it went up. It's like 732% in 5 years. Now, of course, that dips up and down as the stock
It
market
does.
does. But you can go look at the trajectory, and it is climbing that mountain. It's incredible.
Well, the new science that's coming out with a gut health test
Mhm.
being released this year that no one's ever had, a dry blood spot test to test gut health. According to Dr. Paul Clayton, any doctor worth his salt is going to want their hands on that test.
Right.
So we had an interview with him just a couple of weeks ago. Then the study that just came out in all these scientific medical journals, and I just interviewed Dr. Garko about this study, which is an incredible interview to itself. Zinzino is separating themselves from everybody. And what you and I think, need to do is we got to get back and talk to all those people that are hoping they found the next big thing. And look, if someone finds something that's working for them, God bless them. I wish them well. But I've been around this industry for so long, over 35 years, Heather. And I've had to go, this is 4 times, I think now, after making it at the top of every company. And I even the last company, I told Larry, "I can't join you, Larry." I watched him for 5 years before I joined him. I wanted to see if regular people could do it.
Yeah.
And so I've known about Zinzino, believe it or not, since they originated, but didn't take them serious till I had to look and study the industry. And I like that in the US and Canada, which now I'm back home living here, moved back from Spain, that we have this big window of opportunity and the best is yet to come. How do you feel about it?
I want to speak candidly to those people who think that they have found the next big thing. Because from my perspective, one thing I learned is there were kind of two waves, okay, to network marketing. You started in one area, and the way that you and Larry built your businesses was not on Facebook, not on social media. It was having real conversations with real humans, getting in front of people. Then in, 2013, 2014, there was this shift where all of a sudden people thought, well, why don't we use social media to start, a network marketing business? Now, most of those people who jumped in, we'll call it wave two, they had never done it before. And I have to say, while it was great, I do think it kind of did a disservice to the industry as a whole because a lot of people, I think, look at this and think, well, I'd love to do it, but I don't want to post on Facebook. I don't want to spam my high school yearbook. I don't want to have to send all these messages. And what I want people to hear is that we are not doing it like that in Zinzino. It is different. It is, again, going back to that real conversation with the real human. Now, of course, you can use tools to share online. And of course, Zoom changes everything. Right now, we can connect with people all over the world instantly. But I think there are a lot of people who maybe went like this to network marketing over the years or did it and were very successful and thought, I just don't want to do that piece on social. And I just want them to know that that is not a requirement here. We are doing it with class and with education, one conversation at a time.
I love how we're taking old school. I guess I'm around a long
Yeah.
time. It's
I didn't
old
want to
school.
call you the dinosaur of network marketing, but no, I'm just teasing you.
I'm still here. Still walking the planet.
Yeah,
But if you think about it, the high touch is so
it
important,
is.
building relationships. The idea of United Networks International, the one I came up with this decades ago, was the idea that I realized each person I sponsor was their own group. And I say, oh, it's our team. Well, no, it's each individual's team. And then it's another new team. So we came together, shared knowledge. We create a better community for everyone, as long as you build trust across the teams, which is what we're trying to accomplish here at our Diamond Retreat where we're filming this. But I look at what you've taught me and Larry, that you have you're more connected to what's going on with technology today. You gave us a great lesson on how to use boards. And that was something new. And for a lot of people, that's a very valuable tool for customer acquisition and piquing interest. And we appreciate that you actually train people that want to learn from any organization. You can get on that. And then you recently helped us with creating a model for ChatGPT that would allow us to be able to have a data bank
Right.
as soon as you want. So I'm just grateful for your contribution to this. And I know we're just scratching the surface of marrying
Yeah.
high tech and high touch.
Yes. And I think that when we get to that point, it's gonna
Yeah,
explode.
and we're not there yet, but here's the thing about us. We're not stopping till we figure out the best approach to marrying the new forms of marketing, the high tech, the funnel marketing, and marrying it with putting them in a real community that will give them long-lasting value in personal development, building personal relationships, and obviously, let's make some money.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta feed our families.
Very true.
So I can't thank you enough for
Thank
making the
you.
trip from Ohio out here. I can't wait to come to Ohio and meet your family and your husband. So again, I'm grateful to you and Jamie for both being
Fantastic.
part of our Zinzino and now being in our lives.
Well, thank you for having us. Thanks so much, Artie.